Dr. Stephen Beering will celebrate what he calls his second birthday on July 25th, the 60th anniversary of his arrival in the United States. While now a Hoosier and a Boilermaker through and through, his life began at a different time, in a very different place. Steve was born in Berlin in 1932 as the Nazi Party was rising to power, and his family moved to the city of Hamburg as a child. After a British air raid destroyed their home during World War II, they were loaded onto a truck and relocated without his father, who was away on business at the time. After a post-war reunion, the Beerings lived with relatives in London as they tried to book passage to the United States. They eventually settled with his grandparents in their Pittsburgh home, and Beering began to pursue his desired future.
I had always hoped to become a physician, and I went down to the University of Pittsburgh and asked to talk to the pre-med counselor, who happened to be head of the modern language department. Took me under his wing and he said, "Well, you speak French and German." And I said, "Yes." And I said, "I also speak a little English, not much." And he said, "Would you come join my department and we can give you a special deal as a faculty member so you don't have to pay tuition."
Pitt also treated Steve well in other ways. He met Jane Pickering, the sister of a classmate, on her first day of school. Later, an unconventional invitation would lead to a lifetime together.
I had a phone call from her saying, "Would you come to the Sadie Hawkins dance with me?" That's a girl ask boy event. And I didn't really know about that. So I said, "Well, yeah, I think I would." She explained to me how we knew each other. That was 58 years ago, and we've been married 57 years now. Very happy married.
As the newlyweds finished their educations, their immediate path was already set. To help pay for medical school, Steve had committed to serve in the United States Air Force Medical Corps. He achieved the rank of lieutenant colonel while serving at the Wilford Hall Medical Center in San Antonio. It was here his initial Hoosier connection was made.
I kept getting bugged by the then chairman of the Department of Medicine of IU, Dr. John Hicken. He was a consultant to the Air Force, and he said, "Well, would you accept an appointment to the IU School of Medicine?" I said, "Let me think about that." I said, "I ought to come and visit."
Steve immediately liked what he saw and accepted both a medical appointment and a position in the dean's office. As he rose through the administrative ranks, he recognized the need to enlarge the medical school and utilize statewide resources.
Dr. Beering was put in charge of developing a test program to see could students of the IU School of Medicine be on a campus outside of the medical center in Indianapolis, and specifically on the Purdue campus and on the Notre Dame campuses. And as developed, it ended up with a 9-center system throughout the state.
Steve's work as Dean of the IU School of Medicine also caught the eye of one of his patients. Former Purdue University President Fred Hovde considered Beering a perfect fit for his old position. While he could say no to Hovde, Steve had a tougher time refusing the advances of another Purdue representative.
My son called me one night shortly after that happened, and he said, "How can you do that?" He said, "We're really good people here at Purdue. You ought to come and have a look. Meet the people." The decision was easy once I came and looked. And I must tell you, this is the best decision I've ever made in my life. This has become our family.
While the idea of a cream and crimson guy assuming the top black and gold post initially created a stir, that apprehension quickly subsided.
He got to campus, and I think the doubt about his commitment to Purdue lasted about 5 minutes. And there was no doubt from day one that he was here to be a Boilermaker and to be a leader, and he asserted himself very quickly in that respect. He projected a sense of a Purdue family, and he made people feel like they were part of a family where everyone supported everyone else.
Steve and his wife valued personal connections and set about friend-raising for Purdue. Private financial support grew exponentially through efforts like the Vision 21 campaign, co-chaired by Purdue alums Neil Armstrong and Gene Cernan. which raised more than $322 million.
He's always been very excellent at that. His understanding of the need for the use of the money, putting together thoughts on how's this money going to be used, no waste of money, but making money do what you really want it to do.
Steve set about using Purdue's funding wisely, establishing a College of Liberal Arts and expanding the campus through unprecedented new construction and major additions. He also beautified the campus, which had lost most of its trees to the elm tree blight.
Steve just had a tremendous vision for how to make this a beautiful place. Purdue Mall, Founders Park, Academy Park. Each one of these places now, you see students studying, you see families with children playing, you just see people really enjoying the beauty of the campus. It is now, I think, one of the most spectacular campuses in the country.
Steve has also shared his personal time and financial resources, from his work as executive chair of the university's Research Association to his service as a lifetime Pitt trustee. He also created the Beering Scholars Program at IU, Purdue, and Pitt, which provides students with a complete scholarship in whatever discipline they choose and inspires them to give back when they're able.
Well, a few years ago, we had two of these Beering scholars who became physicians. They developed a patent. They sold the patent for $2 million, gave me the check, and said, put it in the scholarship fund so others can benefit. So that's one example where people have caught the spirit of the program.
While his legacy continues to grow worldwide, Dr. Beering's contributions at home and abroad have been nothing short of legendary.
The last 30 years have been phenomenal. I've had opportunities I never dreamt of to make a difference and to help people, not just here, but nationally and internationally, because of this university's influence all over the place. I'm just happy to still be here.